What's going on, everyone? This is a great topic about why DEI needs to die, why it's cancerous, and how everything that has touched, everything that has invaded, definitely in the gaming industry as of lately, uh, gets downgraded big time. It does not produce anything positive. It's all garbage. And then you have a lot of innocent people that only think about the idea of it, but not realize what it's actually doing, what it really is, and what's behind the mask of DEI, and how ugly it really is. So we're gonna go into this and we're gonna explain that. Definitely, y'all being gamers and definitely Asians, y'all tune into this too because all this stuff is very important. And the targets for DEI that are gonna be called racist are gonna be the Asians and the Caucasians. It's an attack against them because these individuals have inferiority complexities, and then they have deceivers and slave masters like the white liberals behind them, who to me are just Satanists. But let's go ahead and go into this.
DEI, it's not looking good for DEI. A bunch of people on Twitter are talking about DEI. Elon Musk talked about it. Oklahoma governor signs order effectively banning diversity programs as public colleges, okay?
Finally, somebody
That's
said
good.
Yes, let me read the story
I
to
got the
you.
biggest applause from the crowd.
Let's
go.
Interesting.
Oklahoma
go,
Governor
Brandon.
Kevin Stitt signed an executive order effectively banning diversity, equity, and inclusion DEI programs at public colleges and agencies, prohibiting them from state funds or resources for DEI initiatives, and ordering the dismissal of non-critical personnel. This order is effective immediately with compliance expected by May 31st of 2024. Charlie, what do you think about
So this is a little bit older, but it's still a very important topic, and not a lot of people have seen this. So I want to put this out in front of their face. This is a big issue right now in the world, definitely with the Assassin's Creed topic that I've covered. If you guys haven't seen that and you love seeing DEI be exposed for what it is and seeing somebody do it professional and do it at a level that's very, very, very epic, like top of the food chain, go on my channel and watch my Assassin's Creed videos. You guys will love it. Right off the bat, though, I like what I see here, and let's continue, and we're going to be doing some reacts to this.
the story?
I think it's amazing. I think every red state governor should follow suit. Anybody in power should get rid of DEI immediately. DEI is a Marxist program that's infiltrated. It is anti-white, institutionalized, and Elon Musk is now one of the most anti-DEI spokespeople of the West, and praise God for Elon of doing that. He says DEI should be rearranged to DIE because it is saying it is dying. Look, Elon Musk calls diversity, equity, inclusion morally.
It's right here. I have it on my Twitter. DEI must die. The point was to end discrimination. I place it with different discrimination. And that's what it is. It's a label. And by the way, since it's been so caught now, y'all, and it's being so exposed, they're going to try to change the label to something else. Look out for the next label. Because that's what these entities do when they get caught. They just go somewhere else and raise up another label on the surface and start it all over again. And we got to keep getting them till we can get them out permanently. And then DEI is just another word for racism. Shame on anyone who uses it. Yeah, you know what I find funny is that how there's people with mindsets that don't see that how much racism the Caucasian race deals with, and the Asians too, but definitely the Caucasians. Like it's almost like everyone's blind to it, and like it's just okay. You know what I mean? And they deal with it a lot, and it's insane. As if like they should be all looked at the same. You know what I mean? Where it's like it's just so stupid. Definitely when you have people not realizing that in the country that they built the American corporation off of, that everyone has came to, they've allowed so many different cultures and races to come in and live better lives than what they've lived in their own. And they've been there for thousands of years. So you have to respect that type of integrity and intelligence and open-heartedness. And we're not talking about those kind of like, the devil's children or those it's the evil spirits, you know what I mean? Because they've done evil and they may look like they're the same, but they're not the same. You have to meet people individual by individual, and you can't think because somebody looks a certain way that they should be like looked at, as if like, they were the, and even if you guys are not religious, if they were just looked at like a slave master, you know what I mean? It just depends on how you want to look at it. It's the same thing because like I said, at the end of the day, it's all evil. So this gentleman is a perfect example of somebody who's intelligent, who's level-minded, along with all these other gentlemen. Y'all know they're nice people. They give a lot. They support. They're there. Like I said, they allow everyone to come in. If you were wanting to push a DEI agenda and you were Caucasian, you would say this country should only be Caucasian only. Has there been some people back in history that didn't like that? Yes. But if you look at it now, that's way better. But like I said, those type of people are dealing with a certain type of evil. And as a matter of fact, if we look at history, that's done in a lot of cultures. It's not just Caucasians. The original slave trade happened between Africa and its own kind. They sold them over to the Arabs. You know what I mean? So anything anyone says about anything outside of that, it starts with you selling your own people. Look at what happened in the Italian Renaissance. Like you could see like where there's a lot of unfair treatment in a lot of other cultures around the world. So you shouldn't just be looking at it like, oh, because he's Caucasian, he should be looked at that way. And it's like, that is racist. And I don't think people understand that. And because he's this color, oh, he has all these privileges. And it is like, as if like they can't struggle and all of them have fantastic lives and all of them make more money and have better lives than everyone. That is not the case. That is discrimination big time. And it's just not looked upon in an intelligent manner. And I think it should be more highlighted so there could be more equality upon looking at everyone in the right manner.
Wrong. Propaganda words for racism, sexism. Changing the target class doesn't make it right. Good.
The Asians too.
We need more people with wealth and with power and a platform to speak out against DEI. So I love that Governor Stitt is doing this. It shouldn't have taken this long. They call you a racist. Ignore them when they say that. Get rid of the DEI office.
It's just somebody with a low IQ and who's not intelligent at all, because when somebody says that, it's like, explain to me what you mean. Give me some intelligent background. They just want to say that. It's an empty, soulless statement.
Go back to meritocracy. DEI is at odds with the promise of the American Constitution. It's at odds. You cannot have a meritocracy and have DEI. So choose. Choose which way, America. Do you want a segregated society? Do you want Christmas parties like in Boston where white people are not allowed? That is DEI. Do you want black-only dormitories? That is DEI.
No
do you
way.
want bonuses based on skin color? That is DEI. Or do you want work ethic and merit to be rewarded?
Yes.
That is what built this country. We have to get back to it. So right now we have to go on a non-stop deletion campaign and get rid of every single DEI office in America immediately.
Charlie, can I ask you a follow-up on that? Great point. So, they say there's a difference between perception and reality.
That was amazing. Like, that's what I like to see there, because then you're eliminating all that and then you're like, show that you are now capable of being able to do this. Definitely in the gaming industry right now, I hate this shit. If you want to be in this room, if you want to be in this company, if you want to do the coding, the development coding, the direction, show that you are capable of doing that. Rather than trying to push something so you can sneak in when you don't have the capabilities to do it. Because everything that you have invaded has gone down to shit. And nothing has gotten great over it. Perfect example is the Sweet Baby Inc. company that is literally cancerous and a virus. And if y'all have not looked into them, I highly recommend y'all do it. But there's only 16 employees, with this dumb bitch being the CEO, who's retarded and stupid and absolutely lunatic insane. And it's the perfect example of why DEI is cancer. And like I said, if y'all haven't looked into it, I highly recommend you do it and see that everything that they've touched has just been destroyed. Definitely this year. I'll give you some highlights. Suicide Squad was one of them. Flintlock Siege of Dawn is another one. All you got to do is you could just see what games they were involved in. Do that and then go down, and then you're going to see that everything they got involved in is at its lowest quality. That's all I want y'all to do, so you could do your research on that. And then you could just look into a lot of things.
Reality. For the people that aren't really following what's going on with DEI or ESG, everything that's sort of, in our world, for the average person, when they hear diversity, it's like, all right, cool, diversity, that's great.
Yeah.
Equity, yeah, we all want a piece of equity. Yeah, it's great.
That's a different
Inclusion.
Exactly. Inclusion, let's be included.
I want to be included.
So on the surface, like, if you're a liberal college girl, like whatever, like most people aren't paying attention to policies. They're paying attention to personality and just basically optics. Where did people give people the reality of what this is? meaning the average person out there thinks it's great. Charlie, how racist of you to basically say DEI is bad.
Yeah.
What would you say to those people?
He's correct. They're gullible sheep. They really believe in the definition as if you looked it up on Google, as if like that would actually be good for the world, without seeing the ugly monster behind the mask of DEI and what it really is and how much damage it has done since it existed and how much it will continue to do if it is allowed to roam around and spread its virus everywhere. They don't see that. You have to pull down the curtain for them and show them what it really is. And when they all start figuring that out, things will get better. This is what we need to do. That's why we need to do stuff like this. That's why we need to spread it out. You know, that's why we need to do this.
Well, I mean, first of all, understand what DEI actually is. It's Marxism by another name. It is race Marxism. It is trying to destroy what exists, strip it down, and put in a completely different type of society. It is race it's race preference. And so you have to ask somebody, do you think your skin color matters to your worth? It's one of the most important, simple, honest questions in America today. If yes, you're a bigot.
And I agree and I understand what he's saying, but it's kind of hard to permanently eliminate that because it's just the way this society works. Obviously, we want to get rid of DEI, but I don't know if we'll ever get rid of that. And I think everyone can know what I mean. Like that. I think that's almost impossible to do that. That's like saying you want communism to work in America too, because you want everything to be seen equal and we're all equal. You know what I mean? All that not going to work. Where there's that much evil and it's just not going to happen.
I have no time for you. You should be like, no, actually, your skin color doesn't matter that much. Of course, there's racial differences. They don't matter.
It doesn't, but that's like saying that communism is very good and it doesn't matter. We all should be equal. Like, it's not going to work though. And I'm not saying he's wrong for saying that, but that's just not how it's going to work with 100% of the people. It's just always going to be that way. And we just have to understand that. That's just the hard reality of it. That's just, you know, part of those devil genes that we got to deal with.
Actually, really at all. They don't matter about your character or your soul or your agency. Like, and by the way, how shallow. I mean, people are much deeper than how they look, like a lot deeper.
Not all.
And just to kind of put people back into sectarian tribes is regression. So what DEI does, it is re-tribalizing society into a new India-style caste system where you can never escape. No matter how much good you do,
Very true.
no matter how much you study, no matter how early you work, no matter how much you try to improve your life, you're trapped. You're in an open-air prison. DEI creates America into an open-air prison that if you're white, you can never escape it. You have to constantly apologize. You have to constantly go on a knee. And it's like, by the way, if you want to live in that type of country, go to South Africa. Literally, that whole country is built on DEI.
That's very true, because these people that are wanting to push this agenda, definitely when you over blackwash things and when they do that, it's because they feel inferior. And no matter what you do or how you appear, they don't realize how racist they are because they can't handle the fact that they don't have equal grounds without having the same type of inner development and production and lifestyle that you guys built to work for. Same thing with the Asians. And it just has to be said, you know what I mean? Because it's a very ugly thing that's been going on for quite some time. And if we really want to understand why certain people feel a certain way, then they need to understand that it goes back to their own kind selling them to the Arabs, and then the Arabs selling them to the Caucasians who were capitalists and brought them over here. And then they see them like living a life that they lived and they don't know how to respond to that. And then they get in a certain type of mindset and think that they should be able to automatically be privileged to get that. If not, then, you know, they start making up all that type of stuff. And like I said, the problem with that is not because of the Caucasian and not because of the Arab, but because of their own people that sold them into slavery and put them in that type of environment to begin with, and didn't work with them to be prepared for that. And that should have never happened, but it did though. So I can't say it shouldn't have, because it did end up playing out that way. But that's why I wanted to actually talk about that, because not a lot of people were even told the right history, as if like, you know, it wasn't the Caucasian that did that to you, it was your own people. And now you're in somebody else's country And before it was theirs, it was the natives. And then, you know, you had the Chinese helping build that too, definitely down south. And y'all had nothing to really do with that. So everything you saw come to life when you came into it, like way later, you wanted to feel privileged in that. And whatever wrong was done to you, it's because somebody sold you to them. That's the wrong. That's the evil right there. No matter what they say. I always remember that.
CRT. It's an entire country that is based on racial separation and revenge against whites. They have political rallies where they say, kill the Boer, kill the Boer. The whole country is built on racial resentment.
Because they're in the mindset of exactly what I'm talking about. They're thinking like that. And they think because somebody has a certain skin tone that they somehow are like those people that mistreat people. Like I said, those are the devil's children. And if you're not religious, those are evil seeds and evil bloodlines. Either way, it's the same thing, but just with a different label. Just like heaven has another term in science for outer space, but it's the same thing. Or, you know, an alien and religion would be considered a fallen angel. But at the end of the day, it doesn't change the essence of what's going on and what's appearing, you know, on Earth, because it's all the same thing. You just want to change around the labels and say it's this and that, but it's the same thing. So when you see somebody like with a certain skin tone, they think they just have to put them all in the basket and they all should be looked at in a fixed point of view, and that's all they see. It's not very intelligent. It's pretty stupid. But when you have that tribe mindset going on and an enclosed mindset and those polarized, closed mindset points of view, then that leads to stuff like DEI. And then look where that goes, and then look at the quality of that. It just all goes to hell, you see? And we have to realize who's the real puppet master behind all that.
Revival that will come to this country, and PBD, you're doing a great job helping lead, and what we're doing here at America Fest and Turning Point USA, the revival will go back to a preference on meritocracy. Character, not skin color. Agency, not tribe. That has always been what has made America different and exceptional.
Well said, Charlie. How much similar?
I have to agree with all that because, like I said, they allowed all these different cultures to come over here. Even though some bad things may have happened, but that's what happens when you first go into somebody else's territory. There's going to be people that just want the territory to be to themselves. Humans by nature are very territorial. They are. It's just a primitive nature in everyone. But at the end of the day, we can see so many Asians where they're at right now, definitely Chinese. We can see so many colored people where they're at. We see so many Hispanics where they're at. Indians from India, and they're all living good lives, and a lot of them are making more money than certain Caucasians. I don't know what else to tell you, you know what I mean? But try to go somewhere else and see that. You're only going to see it in territories where Caucasians have built. You got to see it.
Similarity, like when you hear BLM, Black Lives Matter, on the surface, it's like, yeah, of course they matter. But the reality was a Marxist organization that was basically trying to take.
It's the same thing again, you know what I mean? Where it's like, no, humanity matters. Period. That's more polarization and buffoonery. It's no good. So, and like I said, we need to realize where that originates to. It's the same evil spirits.
Tear down the nuclear family.
Of course it is.
Is that basically the parallel to DEI?
And again, don't take
Same
my
thing.
word for it. Look at Elon Musk. DEI must die. The point was to end discrimination, not replace it with a different discrimination. That's the world's wealthiest man. Mm-hmm. He's saying it because it's true. It's not like he has to go make more money or he's going to win favor or friends. And look, they took advantage of the best intentions of the American people. To your point, inclusion. Who wants to be non-inclusive?
Of course.
Right? Or diversity. Now, they never actually mean diversity because they want everyone to look different but think the same. They don't mean it. They don't believe in intellectual diversity or viewpoint diversity or religious diversity. They want just skin color diversity.
Bingo.
And they want ideological totalitarianism. Mm-hmm. That's the most important thing. So, look, DEI.
That was the big thing and that they got going with Assassin's Creed Shadows, where you put that skin color diversity in there in the wrong manner, and they knew what they were doing when they do this, to misrepresent and be used for a wrong means to attack the Japanese culture. It was very bad. And if y'all haven't took a look at that, I recommend doing that. It's blown up now, and it's a big problem. And I truly believe that a lot of these developers would have liked to be left alone. And I just feel like this is a satanic mafia invasion, and they're forcing that upon all those developers. And I don't think that they're actually really wanting to do this. I think it's something that is being forced, and they put so much money and investment into it that they're trying to enforce it.
Is against DEI is a virus, and I'll say this.
Yes.
And people hate when I say it, but it's true. DEI is a much more dangerous
I don't
virus
care,
to
it's the
America
truth.
than COVID ever was. And DEI is now lasting much longer than COVID. And the top priority of this conference and our podcast and all of us together is to unite our forces. If you're a libertarian, conservative, Democrat, I don't care. We must unite and kick the DEI virus out of America as quickly as possible.
So it died, and it took a South African.
Yeah, because it has a foothold here, and it doesn't just stay here. Look at how it moved into Japan. Look at how it's trying to move into China. It wants to go everywhere. That's what viruses do. They spread out like that. You see?
Made American Elon Musk
Praise
to
God.
understand how it works there to basically call this out.
Tom.
No, amen to that. And you were asking, Adam, where do people see it? Well, people are seeing it when teachers, public school teachers, have to take a vow. And it's a vow, or they have to sign a document that adjusts their behavior at school. So people are seeing it come out saying, wait a minute, why do I have to do this? I'm a 25-year teacher. Why do I have to take this vow against this and this and that? It's showing up everywhere. Critical race theory, one of the first tenets is that the instant you're born, if you're born white or Asian, you, critical race theory, are inherently racist. And you haven't lived a moment of your life and had a rational thought.
If y'all look into the Assassin's Creed situation, it comes out big time. And if Japan is watching this, y'all know what I'm talking about. As a matter of fact, I'm going to make sure you guys see this part of the video at least and let you know. Because what this guy said right here is 100% nail on the goddamn coffin. Arrow right into the bullseye. 100% spot on against the Asians and the Caucasians. And it's very true. That's who they're going to be attacking. It's an inferiority complexity issue. I'm dead damn serious about it.
You just arrived here. Welcome to Earth, enjoy your stay. And so when you take a look at these tenets, they're absolutely ludicrous. And you can boil it down like this. Your dad goes into an emergency room. I don't care what color the doctor is. How many bypasses has he done, and can he save my dad's life? That's the only thing I care about. That's a meritocracy. And that's where it needs to go. And Charlie, God bless you for everything that Turning Point is trying to do to raise the awareness and be such a loud voice.
Thank you.
Exactly what Elon Musk says. Let's not take one discrimination, which is bad, and just replace it with another discrimination, which is far worse.
Yeah, I love that. It's amazing. The idea of somebody feeling sorry for you should be an unattractive idea.
Pity.
Like, you shouldn't like pity. Again,
That's such a good point.
this goes back to this book that was
Hate
written many
it.
years ago. Rob, if you can pull up the chart, power versus force, just go to power
Need that
versus
garbage?
force chart. This is something
Victimization.
everybody ought to look at. You ought to go through this. Click on the...
And it's good that he said that because, like, he's trying to tell you, definitely if you're a color person, get out of that victimization. It's going to do you more harm than you can imagine. It's going to cripple you. It's going to make you dumb and ignorant. It's not going to make you be able to do anything because you're going to sit around and think you're privileged and you're going to be undeveloped. You're not going to be able to keep up with other people. And then these type of habits start forming. It's 100% true. I know what he wanted to say, so I'm going to say it. Because he's talking about anyone that isn't Asian or Caucasian in that sort of sense.
The one to the right of it. Go to one right there. Click on that one. Zoom in. Just zoom in. Don't do anything but click and just zoom in a little bit. There you go. And go left. Look at this. From the lowest level of consciousness to the highest one. Zoom out a little bit. The lowest level where you don't perform in a good place is shame, then guilt.
Despising, miserable, shame, humiliation. They keep people in this.
Then apathy, then grief,
Purple to
then
red.
fear, then desire, then anger, then pride. The first level where you finally have power is when you have courage. Then neutrality, which you're able to entertain opposing ideas. Then you're willing to have the discussion. Then you're accepting the differences. You're able to reason with other people. You love, joy, peace, and if you make it to enlightenment. If you can constantly be aware of this, to not fall for the shame, guilt, apathy, grief, fear, desire, anger, and pride, and have the courage to change, future looks bright. And it looks like you guys are doing that with Turning Point USA.
But they don't want you to do that. They want you to be stuck. Like, there's some people, like, I have to say, they try to bring me back to the high school mentality. They try to drag me back because they can't handle that I've reached that purple bracket. that God has brought me there to the higher self, way beyond that mundane nonsense. And they don't want that to change. They don't want you to grow past that. They feel like they're still stuck there and they don't like what they see. You see, because that goes all the way back to the inferiority complexity. So they want you to feel a certain type of mindset. They want you to go down to that level so they can feel better about themselves. What does that say about them? Instead of wanting to grow and develop. And there's no reason there. There's no real conversation. None of that. You could see it. That's a very great graph, and I know where that comes from. I have one of those. But that's just the chakra levels, you know, the 7 colors of the sun going all the way up to purple and gold. All the way from the base instinct on the bottom.
If you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.
Great stuff. Glad to cover this. Like, subscribe. You guys like this type of content. Like I said, I'm going to be doing more streams on Twitch. You can follow me on my Twitch, twitch.tv/KingWitty. It's in my description down on my YouTube page. And so is my Twitter if you guys want to follow me on there. I'm open to have these type of conversations. If you want to have these type of conversations, or if you feel like you're dealing with somebody, come get me. I'll deal with them. All right, y'all. Peace and love. Have a great night. Good morning, wherever around the world. Catch y'all later.